It's 11:30 and time for the news. Good afternoon. You are listening to MediaPlex News Radio, and I'm Laurie Harrison. And our top story today, the Windsor-Essex opioid strategy has just been released. Officials say no single approach will fully address the opioid epidemic here and across the country. They're calling for more education, more access to naloxone kits, and a better response to overdoses. In other news, right now there are no elected Liberals in Windsor, provincially or federally. But as Sanjay Maru reports, one of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's cabinet ministers was here this week looking to change that.
It was a chance for local Liberals to meet with Minister Navdeep Bains at the Fogalar Furling Club Thursday night. He was here talking about issues related to his federal portfolio, innovation, science, and economic development. Bains says his government is focused on strengthening the working class.
Focus on significant investments in infrastructure, $180 billion over the next 10 years, reducing the tax rate for middle-class Canadians by 7%, introducing the Canada Child Benefit, but also making a big bet on innovation.
University of Windsor law student Benison Smith, this was an opportunity to see the minister in person.
I find Minister Bains to be one of the more articulate ministers. I find he speaks very well on issues, and he always has a really interesting perspective on his portfolio and on the current goings-ons of the government.
Bains says Canada needs a greater commitment to innovation to develop more successful businesses here.
And the feedback we're getting is be very focused and bet big. We're working on some strategies like artificial intelligence, for example, and machine learning.
Bains describes these sectors as opportunities for Canada to be a global leader. For MediaPlex News, I'm Sanjay Maru.
He says he's sorry. The 13-year-old boy who set a Tecumseh playground on fire in October has written a letter of apology to the community. He says he has learned to always think twice about something before doing it. He also says when he started the fire, he thought it was just going to be a small one, and he could have a little fun, but that didn't happen. The fire caused $400,000 in damages to an accessible playground. He hopes that everyone can understand how sorry he is. Moving on to sports, the Windsor Spitfires lost their game in London last night, 5-2, and are hoping to break that 4-game losing streak at home tonight against Guelph. The game starts at 7:30. In basketball, the Windsor Express take on St. John's tomorrow night at the WSU Center starting at 7, and the Detroit Pistons are playing the Washington Wizards at 8 o'clock tonight at the new Little Caesars Arena. Let's take a look at what's been happening around Essex County. Windsor residents had a chance to have coffee and with a cop yesterday. It was a planned event by police to connect better with people downtown. Kush Mariarada has the story.
This is the 4th time Windsor police have held coffee with a cop. This time it was held at Coffee Exchange from 10 to 1 yesterday. They were talking with residents about their work and listening to the concerns of the Windsorites. Sergeant Steve Betteridge is the Public Information Officer for Windsor Police.
It's kind of a cold day today, which is perfect for a coffee. Come in and you get to meet our officers, discuss things one-on-one, where that officer is not tied up in an active investigation. They actually have the time to talk to someone.
The event was full with police officers and Windsorites. Last year, police went to other parts of the city. For MediaPlex News, I'm Kush Mendirata.
In other news, the deer call continues. Point Pelee will remain closed until January 26. At last count, there were 103 deer in the park. Their goal is to get the deer population down to about 30. That would be the number that could reasonably be sustained by the ecosystem there. Now a look at weather. Here's a look at your 3-day forecast. Today will be sunny with a high of 2. Saturday, partly cloudy with a high of 6. And Sunday, rainy with a high of 5. Speaking of weather, it may be warming up outside, but there are still some slippery patches out there, as I quickly found out this morning getting out of my car. Thankfully, my car door was there and caught my fall. Do you know how to stay safe in icy weather? Well, here are some great tips to help you stay erect while walking. Take short steps or shuffle. This will help with your stability. Bend slightly and walk flat-footed. Put the center of your gravity over your feet as much as possible. Keep your hands out of your pocket. Be prepared to fall. If you fall, avoid using outstretched arms to brace yourself. Thanks for listening. I'm Laurie Harrison, and this has been MediaPlex News Radio.